GoForThe2.com. I'm back with a marquee matchup between the Oklahoma Sooners and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. It's a rematch of last season's game in which the Notre Dame Fighting Irish ran all over the Sooners in Norman. So we'll see how this game plays out. A key statistic for this ball game: Oklahoma is 1-9 versus Notre Dame. Their last victory in South Bend coming in 1956. So statistically, odds stacked against the Sooners. But when you look at this ball club, a little bit different team than a year ago under head coach Bob Stoops. Blake Bell will get the start for Trevor Knight, who was injured against West Virginia. Blake Bell stepped in 2 weeks ago against Tulsa, performed very well, throwing for 4 touchdowns and over 400 yards. So he has his feet under him. He does have another week to prepare. The Sooners coming into this game off of a bye week, so that gives an extra week of preparation for head coach Bob Stoops and the staff. We'll see how it plays out in South Bend, Indiana. When you look at Oklahoma as a whole, defensively, they've impressed me. I believe Oklahoma, at least in the first 4 weeks of the season, has one of the top defenses in the country, not just statistically, giving up only 9 points per game, but it's been the physical style of play and the way they've shut down the spread offenses of Louisiana Monroe. They've shut down West Virginia, and they shut down a very good rushing attack in Tulsa a couple of weeks ago with Trey Watson, Jatarian Douglas. Very physical at the linebacker and safety positions this year, and it's a different ball club than it was a year ago under Bob Stoops. A very different style of defense for the Sooners heading up into this matchup. A key note for this ball game: star running back Damian Williams, who was suspended against the Tulsa Golden Hurricane, does come back for this ball game. Does he have some rust with a week off? We'll have to see, but he is rested as well, so that might be a benefit for the Sooners heading up into this matchup with Notre Dame. When you look at Oklahoma offensively, they love to run the football this season, averaging 271 yards rushing per game. That's 16th in the country. They took a page out of Notre Dame's playbook last year, in which Notre Dame was able to run at will on the Sooners. You need a good running game in order to make a national championship run, and it seems early on that Oklahoma is built that way, but we're going to have to see how they fare in this key matchup on the road. When you look at Notre Dame, a different team than a year ago as well. Obviously, Everett Golson not around. The senior Tommy Rees steps in. But as Tommy Rees goes, so does the Fighting Irish. 280 yards per game passing, the Notre Dame is. That's 32nd in the country. They are struggling, though, this season running the football. They're averaging 114 yards per game on the ground. They're going to need to run the football against Oklahoma. They cannot afford to be one-dimensional heading up into this matchup. When you look at Notre Dame, they're 3-1. 3 of their victories over Michigan State, Purdue, and Temple. Their one loss on the year was against Michigan. So when you look at the Irish, how good is Michigan? We're going to have to see. How good was Purdue? Not very good to this part of the season under new head coach Darrell Hazel. So very untested group, in my opinion, in the Fighting Irish. I know they played a tough game in Ann Arbor, very difficult place to play, but in my estimation, this is the best team that Notre Dame will face up until this point in the season. I think this is an explosive Oklahoma team. I think this is a top 10 team, in my opinion, not just on the offensive side of the ball, but on the defensive side of the ball. Very physical. And I'll give you my prediction for this ball game Thursday morning up on the website, GoForThe2.com. I'm going to break down the key matchups in the SEC on my radio show, blogtalkradio.com. Me and my co-host, former Georgia Bulldog wide receiver Corey Allen, and we break down the big game in the SEC between the LSU Tigers and the Georgia Bulldogs. So check that out Friday at 2:30 p.m. on Blog Talk Radio. I think it's going to be a great matchup between Oklahoma and Notre Dame. We're going to see how it plays out. Stay tuned for my prediction on Thursday. I can't wait to watch this game. College football is the best, and I can't wait to give it to you.